All right, as we continue our trek around the user interface, we're now going to move over to the left side of the screen and take a look at the Map Tools bar.
So let me go ahead and move to... Oh, wait. Over here we have the selection tool.
Oh, yeah, that's Rap. He doesn't know his left from his right.
Well,
we'll probably be fighting with that a lot throughout these videos.
I'm twitching. There's the selection tool. So
what you guys can't see is that I've got Post-it notes on either side of the monitor that say left and right. I just hope he remembers to read them.
I can't read either. We have the selection tool. We have the magnify tool and camera tool. All of these tools you have seen in the viewport.
Sure. We took a look at those when we were navigating the viewports, yeah.
Then entity, SAG. What is an entity?
An entity is really anything that's not geometry. This accounts for just about everything you're going to run into in your level. This would be your player start. This would be any enemies, any weapons, any meshes in your scene, really, just about anything that is not a physical piece of geometry you've created.
Let's try to press the tool, and if you notice over here, category is the entity. And currently the current entity is info_play_start, which is basically the entity where the player spawns in the map.
Hence the name player start.
Hence the name. We can place that by clicking in the orthographic views and placing it using this crosshair like super beam from outer space and hit enter.
Except now Gordon is going to spawn in the middle of space.
Gordon's going to spawn in space, which is why we got the block tool. The block tool enables you to create blocks, pieces of primitives.
Primitives. That's a hard word to get out.
Primitive.
Good work.
Over here, you'll notice you can select a cylinder, a spear, a spike, a torus, a wedge, or a block. And right now we're just going to make a block. You can right-click in the orthographic view and press Create Object, or you can hover the mouse above an orthographic view and press the Enter key, and it'll apply the default texture or the texture you selected over here to a piece of geometry. You'll notice if we have the selection tool, different handles will come up. By default, it's the transform handles. If you press the piece of geometry again, you get rotation handles.
So if you left-click it, you get rotation handles?
Yeah. If you left-click it again, you'll get the scale handles, so you can...
Oh, that's too cool.
Scale so in all sort of cool ways. And press it again, you'll back to the default transformation tool.
Awesome.
Down here we got the texture sheet, edit sheet, which we're going to cover later in the texture lesson.
Okay.
This button will apply the current texture, so let's say we choose a...
So if you want to apply a texture to an entire block, as opposed to doing it face by face, this is how you do it.
You just select the texture with the new texture highlighted, and you press this button.
Kablam.
There'll be no configuration on how the texture looks like. We're going to look at that later.
Okay.
Then there's decals and overlays, and that's basically adding a texture upon a texture. So let's say you had a wall and you wanted to attach a poster to it. Instead of cutting out the wall and selecting that piece where you want the poster to be, you can you can just take a decal and press it on top of the...
Ooh, nice.
Overlays is basically the same, but overlays you have the power to transform it with the vertices.
Awesome.
Then there's cutting, so let's go ahead and select our geometry again. We can cut our geometry any way we want, so let's say we want to cut it like this.
Now how are you actually doing that? That looks cool.
Let's see. I'm pressing the one part of the geometry and I'm dragging.
Okay. Do you have to start at a vertex?
No, you can start it anywhere you want, so in the middle of a...
Oh, okay, gotcha. So it's like a slice tool.
Yeah, and right now, when we press enter, only this part will survive.
All right.
If we press the cut tool again, the other part will survive, and press it again, both parts will survive.
Oh, okay, cool.
And just go ahead and hit enter, and now we have two shapes, or pieces of geometry.
Very nice.
The last tool down here is move... or edit vertices and edges. So by default, we have both vertices and edges we can move around. Notice nothing happens until you select another tool.
And we'll talk a bit more about that when we have our discussion over geometry.
If we press the button again, we'll only have edges, and when we press it again, we only have vertices.
Cool. So really with that, that is all of the Map Tools bar. Very simple. You'll find that the Hammer user interface is very intuitive, very quick to get into. So that's going to wrap it up for this video. Thanks a lot.